All right. Well, we are live. We're going to talk about some new vacuums and some other stuff that are on the market. So we will talk about that here as soon as people join us. We're going to talk about this as well as some new products from Miele. So that will be super exciting as soon as we get some people in the room. I'm going to log in and just check on my cell phone and monitor it from there. On my cell phone, monitor it from there. All right. Well, hello, the 7 people who are watching that. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. As soon as we get 10 people or more, we'll get started. All right. Well, hello, the 7 people who are watching it. So we are live to YouTube on my computer, which is not a format that I usually do, but because this is kind of that sort of thing, rather than turning the camera to the computer, we're going to do it with this. Let's see if we can see the top chat here. Hello, everybody. Well, hello, all the usual people. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for everybody who does donate to Patreon. And if you don't, thank you anyways for subscribing to the channel. So actually, let's talk about the big news, which is this. I am still learning, waiting on YouTube. Hello, James. I'm still waiting on YouTube to finish monetizing and approving that, and then we'll be able to have super chats as well and do a little bit more of this live streaming nonsense. So I have 0 copy. As you can see, I'm in good standing with YouTube. So as soon as this goes through, they said it can take up to a week to get approved. Yeah, that will be a big thing. And the channel continues to grow every day. And real quick, if you are not on Instagram, or if you are on Instagram, please follow us on Instagram. We don't have many followers. I just thought I'd start this the other day, and it's been kind of cool. So what is my thoughts on the Rainbow D4 SE? It's a well-made machine, but I'd rather have an E-Series Rainbow, personally, for usability. But I would say it definitely should be in a collection. So anyway, so Performance Reviews has an Instagram. We're also expanding to Reddit. Up there is the subject of the day, the bagless vacuum, particularly a bagless Miele, which is something they said they would never do. So that's why it's so interesting. And the other thing that's interesting about what's going on right now is the research. Let's go to Oreck's Instagram page. Let's hang out on Instagram here for a second. Let's go to Oreck's Instagram page, which is... Well, thank you for everybody who does follow us on Instagram. As you can see, Oreck does not have a lot of followers. In fact, I have more followers on a different Instagram account that is personal. So that's kind of bad. And a lot of these companies don't. But Oreck is really trying hard right now to make this thing. Now, they're calling it the Oreck Pod, and they have ingenious marketing. Rather than saying it has a vacuum bag, because Dyson and so many other bagless companies have smeared the word bag, they're calling it a pod, which is, that's appropriate. The only problem with pods is if we look up pod, so we're gonna open a new tab here. Um, let's look up #pod, and forgive me if something bad shows up here. I have no idea, but okay, that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting Tide Pods to show up when I did that. Tide Pod Challenge. So when we put together the words the Oreck Challenge versus the Tide Pod Challenge, all I can think of is it's now the Oreck Pod Challenge. So, good combination of buzzwords, but that's all I can think of is kids eating Tide Pods, which is such a strange phenomenon. Tide Pod. So they have this little video. We'll just show this. I'm sure this is copyrighted or something, but we're going to borrow it. Anyway, so they show how messy Dysons are, and we all know bagless vacuums are messy. So another interesting thing about this thing is it's a direct air machine, which is really strange in this day and age for a direct air machine to hit the market. But that would be Oreck for you. And so they do have some independence from TTI that shows. Yeah, let's get the kids to eat the Oreck pods. Yeah, if you could eat a whole Oreck pod, that's the new Oreck challenge. Oreck has some very strange things on their Instagram. Like, what does this have to do with vacuum cleaners? Other than that, this is a presumably politically correct picture. Maybe I'm not sure what this has to do with vacuums. They should stick to vacuums. And damn, that looks like a computer, that air purifier. All right, so enough picking on Oreck. I actually really do like it. So first, I want to talk about bagless vacuums a little bit more, the history. So let's talk a little bit. This is a Hoover bagless vacuum. The Oreck Pod Direct Air, from all reports from Sylvia, is it actually works pretty good, and didn't really have anything bad to say about it other than the fact it was a direct air machine, and they were concerned about the fan breaking, which is concerned on any direct air machine. So I'm sure we all remember those. So as soon as Miele started teasing us with these pictures of this bagless machine, this was the first thing that came to mind. It was not Miele created something new. It was did they rebrand something else? I'm sure have seen that before. So let's just take a look. They're calling it the Blizzard. Let's just take a look at some pictures of the Blizzard, and then I'll show you some. I will show you some dealer stuff. I do have some. I will show you. Let's just go to images real quick and see pictures of the Blizzard. So if we look at the back of the Blizzard, this is probably the best picture of what I think of as I think of the Blizzard from Amazon UK. So I look at that, and then I look at, this or this, and you see what I'm coming at right there. That they look kind of similar. And in here is a filter with one cyclone. Well, in here is one cyclone dump and a dump chamber. So the difference is you're adding a separate dump chamber, and you have a filter. And iBasiac went through a whole and did a whole thing on it, and I will do a legit video on this, but I'm sure his is the best and probably will be the best on it. He does extremely thorough videos there across the pond. But anyway, so I just can't help but think of the past when I see that, because I've been doing this for 15 years. So that's the first thoughts. So I'm going to let you guys think about that. I also want to talk real quick about some technology news. I know I don't usually do that, but we're just going to talk about that. So this is a thing that it just happened. GoPro has this for $199. And why you guys would be interested in this and why I'm talking about this, not because I'm endorsed by GoPro, because everybody knows I'm a Sony whore and I use Sony cameras and phones exclusively. Oh, the fun fact, those canisters were made by LG. That's interesting. So the reason I'm talking about this is this might give us the ability to live stream in places like Walmart or Target, or go out in the wild a little bit more and do some wild live streaming. So it's something I was thinking about getting. I don't know if anybody has any experience with that. If you guys have any experience with this new GoPro, or if you've bought one as well, I'd love to hear it from you on there. The other quick thing I wanted to do is I do want to buy I hate to say professional, a better microphone, so that I can do streaming as well. So those are just some things that might go on with the channel. I'm still looking for particle counters on eBay, but as you know, the particle counter in the store, the IQ Air one, I'll give you an idea how much those are. We're going to go on IQ Air's website. So you never know where we're going to go in performance reviews, because I'm very random. And hello, thank you for joining us. So we are just going to, again, I'm not paid. They don't really advertise their particle counters, probably. Let's just do this. IQ Air. I want you guys to understand how much these things are, because they're ridiculously expensive. Children made the plastic. Okay, so I want you all to see this is the least expensive one you can buy. So I want you all to understand how really expensive these things are, and why I don't own one currently. So there's like $100 one I saw. I can't remember his name. He's got a little channel, and he does some very strange vacuum tests. It might be vacuum tests or vacuum. I don't remember what. Anyways, but he basically. The point of his channel is he basically masturbates to direct air machines, particularly Kirby's. And I've got nothing against Kirby's, but that's what basically he does on his channel. Yes, that backlab guy. Ironically, there's no laboratory work going on, and I say that so critically when it comes to scientific method and stuff. And what do I know about that? Well, I was married to a biologist for about 11 years. So I know a little bit about that. Just saying. But going on to that. So these things are really expensive, and that's why I haven't gotten one. Finding something like this used on eBay is about $500. So maybe once we get monetized, like actually remonetized, and if that really goes well, maybe in a few months we can save up and get one. So I did a poll on Facebook. And asked, what are we going to do with the advertising money? Because I'm always going to reinvest in the channel. And the majority of people said, hey, buy a cheap vacuum and do a review. So I'm going to buy a cheap vacuum and do a review here soon. I say soon. Soon could be a month out when I'm talking. So now that everybody's here and we have 20 viewers, let's get into the nitty-gritty. And let's talk about the advertising strategy of Miele USA. So I have here a official document from Miele, which I'm probably not supposed to share, but what are they going to do, Simi? Stop talking bad. Hoover discontinued. Yeah, we're going to give Miele credit for trying to stab at the industry, just like they took a stab at the upright industry and made one of the best upright vacuums I've ever seen. Overall, Bissell are cheaper. No, I'm going to try not to do a Bissell. I despise Bissell products. There have been a couple decent machines over the years, but I'm definitely going to buy one from somewhere where I can return. So it'll probably be a Costco machine. given how hassle-free Costco returns seem to be. So let's talk about floor care now that everybody's here. So here is the new C1 lineup. And these are the C1 2000 series lineup, which is super confusing because there's also going to be the C1 6000 series lineup or 4000 series lineup. Okay. Yes, definitely fuck Bissell. I'll have to edit the settings next time so that full freedom of speech can be used in the chat because I don't believe in censoring things. Anyways, so oh shit, we scrolled a little bit soon. So you're gonna see this is a problem. Costco has Miele, and this is a problem for me where I work and for independent dealers. And the reason you love getting Bissels out of the trash and burning them. I need to dig up. I have some pictures from many years ago while we're talking about Bissels real quick before we talk to any more about Miele. So funny story is I'm from New Mexico, and New Mexico is a very different place than the rest of the country. It's still very much the Wild West. So many years ago, and this is all perfectly lawful, by the way, for those of you who are not familiar with the laws. But in New Mexico, if you are 50 yards from a building, it is lawful to discharge a weapon unless there's an ordinance against it. So basically, many years ago, I took a Bissell out into the desert, a Healthy Home machine that was warrantied out and had already been replaced for the customers, and we went out with a 12 gauge. And I need to find those pictures for you guys and show you because they're just absolutely great pictures of before and after a Bissell 5770 hit with the 12 gauge. Anyways, I'm sure you guys would love to see that. Anyways, but that's the proper way to dispose of a Bissell 12 gauge. I think number 4 buckshot works better than double aught personally. Anyways, back to reality here. So, oof, I keep scrolling down too much. So these machines, the problem with this, with a from a dealer point of perspective, is that we sell the same machine in my store. Granted, it's going to have like 2 or 3 extra accessories, but you know, this machine retail stores usually sells for about $800. So Costco's selling it for about $500. Not too happy about that. And customers, even though I'm going to sell it with a 10-year warranty in my store and a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, you know, customers are just not going to see the difference or the value difference, and they're going to go for it in Costco. So this is why a lot of independent dealers have started moving away from Miele. And we're going to see independent dealers, because Miele is going kind of the way of Hoover, not in quality, but in marketing, because that's the smart way to go. I would not, but you're going to see dealers move away from Miele and push maybe Sebo, maybe Henry if they're good, but you're going to see a lot of lesser products being pushed because they need to make money and we all need to eat. So, anyways, you know, I don't really have a problem with if it's a different vacuum, but whatever. So this cat and dog and these are the C1 home care. They've been put out as. They also were known as the S2000 series Atlantis, which was sold as a blue machine. Anyway, so 2000 series machine hasn't gone away, but it is relabeled the C1, and there's a price drop. So we're going to go down to the next series of machines. And now things are going to get confusing. So please stay with me, folks. So we're going to talk about the Bagless here in a second, but I want to just go through what their lineup is so you can see what's going on. Williams-Sonoma has been selling Miele for years. Why are we going to talk about gauges of wire? We're not going to talk about gauges of wire. You guys can go Google Ohm's law all on your own. Anyways, so basically what has happened is we have the 4000 series of machines, And we have the 6000 series of machines here. I definitely remember the Eureka Steam Cleaner Atlantis. Anyways, so the 4000 series of machines are being relabeled C1, just like the 2000 series machines. So I'm going to use the older model designations, and you will see me in my videos talk to them as the older model designations when I'm talking about Miele products, because it's a lot simpler than new designations. So the C1 series, and there's a C1 home care they're not showing here, that sells for $299 and has the longer warranty and a turbo tool. It's kind of a nice middle ground, or actually that might be $399 now. There's a home care 4000 series as well. So we are seeing the 6000 series go away, and there's a couple reasons. The first and foremost is the 6000 series has one improvement over the 4000 series, and that is a one-touch cord reel. Nobody cares about that at all. Like, nobody cares about one-touch cord reel. Is there anybody in the comments who cares about a one-touch cord reel? No, there's nobody. Nobody cares. You just care that it has a cord reel. So the other thing about the S4000 series is it's a little bit more efficient in airflow than the 6000 series. I know it sounds weird. But both these machines are more efficient than the C3 or the 8000 series machines in airflow. But anyways, that technicality aside, we've seen the return of these 4000 series machines. As you know, I did a video a couple weeks ago, and I showed the ones I sold my parents, both as a shop vac and as a home vac. So it's not take or leave the cord reel. It's this has a one-touch cord reel where you touch the button once and everything flies in there. This, you have to sit and hold it with your foot. So that's the differences between the cord reels. So going back to the 4000 series machines, they also cost less money to manufacture a 4000 series machine because you don't have the extra wire that goes right here. And the multi-hull construction of the 6000 series machine means there are more parts. So Miele was real proud of this when they came out, but it was just not American market. Recar's recoil cord reel is my favorite. Well, if we're talking about the Wonder canister, that's a big fail. Nobody is selling those right now. They are kind of a market flop, and that's why it was such a sore spot with Taconi. Anyways, so my point is the 4000 series machine costs less money to make and accomplishes the same thing as a 6000 series machine unless you need a power head. So that's why the Topaz has now moved to this Electro 2 Plus, which at $599, I would buy this before I'd buy the Costco machine, folks, is fucking amazing. It's just a great value. So, I mean, yeah, it's a wonder anybody buys the Wonder. So, I mean, this is just, like I said, this machine right here, this is, if you need a machine for carpets that's a canister, and you don't have 5,000 square feet, if you're doing 2,000 or 3,000 square feet even, I would go for that machine. That would be my, pick in the litter right now. Love that machine. So, you got smacked by one of those features. Well, sorry to hear that, Craig. Stand out of the way next time. I don't know what else to tell you. Never heard of that before. So, anyways, these 4000 series machines, they're great. If you want a straight suction machine, I really like it. So that is a great point. I was going to bring that up. Is they are assembled in China. And to my understanding, of course, I could be wrong. When Miele went to China the last few times to assemble it, it was because the European Union wasn't letting them make the factory the size that they needed. So that was my understanding of that. They're still German design. They're made to Miele specifications. And again, my parents have 3, so that's what I think about them being made in China. And we talk about China and this bad notion all the time. You have to remember that China makes what we want. China can make good stuff. They usually don't because we don't want them to. And you have to acknowledge that China is a superpower in the world. You know, I'm all about that mega life. Everybody knows that I have a big American flag in my yard, and I'm very proud of American. But you have to acknowledge that China is a big deal. So, you know, it's not like they're making these in Malaysia or Iran or Pakistan. China is, you know, they make things in China. So that's kind of their lineup where they've rearranged the 4000 and the 6000 series. So let's go to the 8000 series, and we see yet another surprise return after about a year of being absent. I like to say German manufactured for my sales pitch, and everybody knows I own a German motorcycle. I have a Swiss bicycle, an Italian bicycle. I love German shit. I have a German razor. I mean, I love stuff made in Europe. Absolutely. But anyway, so let's go back. We have the return of the 5000 series machine in a straight suction machine. I don't know, other than price point, why you would buy this. I'd rather have a 4000 series machine than the 5000 series machine. I just, for $349, I'd rather buy the $299 Miele. I'm sorry, I don't see the point in this. And it's because this machine is so much heavier and bulkier than these machines. I don't see the reason. And this machine definitely is going to be made in China. I don't see the purpose of this machine at all. And they're calling it a C2, just like they're calling the 6000 series machine a C2. So it's very confusing. So pretty much nothing has changed with the C3 lineup, except the Elise has gotten a wand change, which is bizarre. They're now manufacturing 2 straight suction wands in the canister. Actually 3 if you count the S2000s. 4 if you count the Miele uprights. Why they're manufacturing an extra wand, I don't know. But the Elise, one of my favorite machines. I'm not sure about this green, but that's the first time we're getting that color in the U.S., so I'm kind of excited about that. So there's that. They're still making the Calma. I don't get the Calma. They've never sold well. The Turbo Tool Parquet thing has never sold well in the United States. People either want a switchable or they want a power head, it seems. At least that's what I've dealt with. You're also seeing a price increase in the soft carpet. This used to be $7.99. This is $8.99. And it makes sense that these two machines are the same price now because they are the same fucking machine. I know this has an extra setting or whatever, but really it's the same cam. It's just relabeled. There's no reason for it. So we're seeing the same thing here. We're seeing Consumer Reports' favorite machine is still there, of course. And then we have the Brilliant. So, well, now we're going to talk about the good stuff. We're going to talk about the fucking Blizzard. Straight suction with the gas pump handle. Well, that would be going back. Let's go back here. You're bringing us back. This has a gas pump handle. This does not. This machine has the curved handle. Unless they've changed that recently. But, yeah. Okay. So, let's talk about the Blizzards, finally. Let's talk about them. Because they're going to be everywhere. And this is going to be... So, there's a cat and dog turbo tool pictured. But we also see here it's going to have the SEB228. And another one, this is going to be like the Kona 228. So we see some power teams. Well, Consumer Reports is paid off, which is part of why I do this, because I'm not paid off. Though if I get paid off, you'll be the first to know, and I'll be happy to be paid off. But until I get paid off, I'm still broke. So this is why we're doing this. So we're going to talk about so these 3 machines have an electric power head. They're going to ship with an electric power head. The picture's wrong. Miele, Amazon just bought Kenmore. Sears is going out of business. So before we get to talk about this, let's talk about Sears going out of business. So I'm 30 years old. Sears has been threatening to go out of business since I was 5 years old. And the Sears Tower was getting reorganized. I mean, that's been going on so long. Who knows if that will actually happen. I wish it would just already happen. Yes, they do have a built-in HEPA filter. We'll talk about that in a minute. In fact, we can watch a video of a gay man demonstrating a Miele Blizzard. Who wants to watch a video of a gay man demonstrating a Miele Blizzard? Nobody. Yes, Sears needs to become in hero. Sorry if there's about a minute delay here. So the Blizzard we see here $7.99, $8.99, $9.49. That is way more expensive than any bagless canister. In fact, the last time a bagless canister was that expensive, it was the Dyson DC-11. Yeah, we're never going to see that. All right, let's find it. So we're going to look up. Let's just go to YouTube. So let's do this. Start by upload date. I'm looking for it. Sears does sell me overseas. All right. This guy. Let me know if you can hear the audio on this. Here we go. All right, well, I'm getting audio. If you guys are not getting audio, I'm sorry about that. Let's see. He doesn't show the bagless system. Maybe he shows it here. All right, I'm gonna just put my headphones in the microphone.
Order warranty center version of the Blizzard lineup. I'm gonna plug this in. We're gonna do a quick feature with Miele vacuum cleaners is quality, getting all the dust and.
All right, so that's what I wanted to show, and why I'm pulling up this horrible video. It wouldn't let you put that message. The bag is the only way to go for sure. So here is the pleated filter. Again, it looks like a Saniel or something like that. It doesn't. It's a very old school design. It's not. Yeah, of course there's a paper filter because Miele isn't stupid. They're not going to lose bag sales. I bet you this is going to be $100 filter. I bet you it will be $100 filter. It's only one cyclone. It's not even dual cyclone.
Actually vibrating and shaking the HEPA filter here, or this is, I'm sorry, not the HEPA filter, but this is the dirt filter. And what it does is it loosens any of that dust debris as if you were.
Sorry about that. All right. So it's self-cleaning, just like a Hoover. Oh, sorry. The reason your comment didn't go through is because it was too vulgar, and I don't have the censorship turned off, and I can't do that while I'm broadcasting, unfortunately. I will make sure next time the censorship isn't off, and I'm sorry that they censored your comment. First of all, let's get away from this for a second. I will say YouTube has been censoring stuff like crazy. There were a bunch of airgun channels that got deleted. Basically, anybody who doesn't politically agree with Google, they have been censoring and taking off, not only demonetizing. There was a deadline given that next month a bunch of channels are just going to disappear because Google basically disagrees with them. So there is a petition going around right now to go get the person who runs YouTube fired. I encourage you to sign that petition and participate in that. Anyways, so as we all know, bagged bagged is definitely the way to go. And I'm a vulgar person, by the way. Sorry, I'm reading the chats and trying to losing my train of thought here. I'm a pretty vulgar person. You guys have seen my videos. I say fuck, shit, and all sorts of things. I think I even implied that the new Avalier looks like a vagina hole. Anyways, so back to the bagless thing. So we see this thing that's going to turn and it's going to do all that, and you see this multi-chamber. It's all like 90s 2000 design is what it reminds me of. So they're telling you can wash the filter. So we all know that washing HEPA filters is bad news, bears. And the reason behind washing HEPA filter is bad is because the water minerals are fairly big and they get stuck into the HEPA filter and make it worse. So that's just something to note. They're telling you not to use soap. So just replace the filter. So we just learned a lot about it right there. I don't know if you guys saw. So the dust, one cyclone, dump chamber. There's also a bottom dump chamber here, right where my mouse is, if you guys can see that. That is a dump chamber for the filter. So that's very strange. And what's also very strange are the tool placement, and they don't use the standard Miele tools. Man, those shoes. Shoes are obnoxious. It's not good enough quality. I can't tell you where it's made, unfortunately, but I would say that made in Germany, judging by the long. What Electrolux is that? That definitely isn't. It's a. So we're just going to close that, and we're going to get back to our paper here. So you see there's a wide price range of vacuum cleaners, and I'm going to have to go to Dyson's website real quick. We're using Chrome. I usually use Firefox, but we're going to go to Dyson real quick, and we're going to take a look at Dyson's pricing. No, I would not take a Dyson over this. Absolutely not. So we're going to go to vacuum cleaners. So I want to the point I want to make here is this is the leader right now in bagless canisters. Pretty much no debating. So these are straight suction machines going from $5.99. I know there's a turbo tool down to $3.99. So $4.99 is kind of right in the middle of where Dyson sells her, and then we're going to go $5.99, $7.99, $8.99, $9.49. It's really expensive. To answer your question, I'm going to get to that point of whether what the purpose of the Miele bagless unit is, and I'll explain that in just a second. But I want to explain pricing. So this is going to be a home care machine, which usually means there's going to be a long warranty with it. It's going to be sold in stores, and you're going to get a 236. So it's going to be the only model you can get the 236 premium head with the light. So that's why it's a big deal. So we're going to talk a little bit, again, about home care machines. Yeah, you're going to see the price on that C1 spike. That's going to hurt. Now, there's 3 prices here that reflects that right there. So now that we have the lineup of Miele and what Miele is doing, and I'm going to explain to you something right here because it's clearer on this page. So we all know that the gateway drug theory is bullshit. And if you don't know what the gateway drug theory, that means if you do alcohol, you're going to do weed. If you do weed, you're going to do heroin, and you're going to ruin your life. So the idea here is people are so against bag vacuums. Rather than relabeling the bag, reselling the bag to people, Miele said, screw it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make bagless cleaners. And we're going to use this bagless cleaner to lure people in and look at our bagged vacuums, which are the same or less money than their bagless machines. So basically what they're going to do, if we look at all this pricing, I'm not trying not to go back. Again, here's what you can get a bagged machine for. Go to bagless. You notice that. So you are going to be able to buy a bagged machine less money than a bagless machine. So they're going to tax you for buying a bagless machine, and they're going to basically, you're going to go in, you're going to look at the bagless machine, you're going to see the bagged machine is less money, and if you're lucky, it's going to be a vacuum shop, and the sales guy is going to tell you buy the bagged machine. So that's the Miele gateway drug theory of why they're doing bagless. They're going to use the bagless machine to lure people into their bagged machine. And that is the purpose of doing the bagless machine. Now, are they going to sell a lot of bagless machines? Absolutely. A lot of people are going to buy a bagless machine. They're going to be perfectly happy with that. But that's the overall goal of doing this. So that's where the bagless machine really fits in the grand scheme of things. And again, vacuum shops know bags are better. Commercial users know bags are better. Consumer Reports will even tell you bags are better. You can Google that bags are better than bagless. But because so many people just swallow that bagless thing, that big shark, whatever, chode, they're going to lure them in with the bagless. And if they buy a bagged, great. If they buy a bagless, they might be saying that's a lifetime HEPA filter like everybody else, but we all know that's going to need to be changed. We all know it needs to be changed. So, and the price of that, you're going to sell more premium machines. And you also notice they didn't make a bagless upright. It's kind of weird, right? Well, that's because Miele doesn't want to sell uprights. Miele wants to sell canisters. And they were planning on the same theory with their upright. For a long time, Miele was claiming that they were losing money on their bagged upright. I don't believe that to be true. You wouldn't make so many of those things if they were losing money every one. That wouldn't make sense. But I tell you what, knowing the price of this and the price of these machines, they're making a lot less money on this machine and on this machine than they are on this machine or this machine or this machine. So that makes a big difference. So I want to talk about their upright lineup real quick because that changed. Wow, this is really more vacuums to confuse customers. So here's a home care. What are you getting with the home care? You're getting a 10-year motor and casing warranty, 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. What are you getting with the U1 that's red? You're getting $100 off in the standard Miele warranty, which is a year bumper-to-bumper and 7 on the motor and the plastic casing. Again, customers are going to confuse this, and it's just going to make salespeople look bad because we're going to quote people $5.99. They're going to Google it on their phone. They're going to find out $4.99, and it's going to make any personal interaction with the vacuum shop look douchey. The other thing they did was they raised the price of the Mavic. Now the Mavic is exactly the same price we saw the Miele Twist sell for. No surprise that they did that. We also saw that the $50 increase on the swing. That's to be expected. It's been $249 before. This vacuum sold as high as $400 before. Again, this one is made in China, though. I love that there's the tactical. They're calling it the tactical. Now, I want to talk about tactical. Let's do hashtag tactical into Instagram. Let's see what comes up. There's one in the store. Hashtag tactical. Let's see what tactical is. Hashtag tactical. Oh, well, that certainly looks tactical. I think of this as, yep, that's what I think of when I think of tactical. I don't think of that when I think of tactical. That's tactical? again, tactical? Not tactical. um, they're smoking doobies when they come up with the price for their stick vac. They're really not smoking doobies at $249. So the Shark stick vac sells for $199. There's an Electrolux stick vac that sells for $199. Miele puts a big ass motor in that thing. They put big ass. They put a big ass motor in that thing, full size Domal motor in it. So and this is fairly high quality. It's the only bag stick vac, to my knowledge, on the market now that the Sebo Felix basic one is gone. So I think they can get $249 for it actually, but it's a very niche market. So as far as Miele making the vacuum with less suction, so Miele sells two vacuum motors. These guys share basically the same motor. This machine and this machine share the same motor-esque. This machine, and this machine actually have the bigger motor, physically bigger. So that's something. But because the upright airflow path is follow my mouse, and then into the bag. I hope you like my sound effects. It's a less efficient air path than their upright, than their canister. So that's why, if you think it has less suction or less power, that's why. Because it actually uses the same brush motor down here that they use in the 236 power head or the 228. So that's their lineup. And we also see the cat and dog is $599. It was $549. It's been as high as $699. So again, these prices fluctuate yearly with Miele. It's always just a little bit, 50, $100 here, but they do that. And I try to tell customers, the price of their stuff goes up and down, and I can't guarantee it's going to go down. A lot of customers say, "Oh, I'm going to hold out, but it's going to go down." But a lot of times it goes up. So we see that this went up, this went up. We saw this go up $100. So you can't say they're going to get cheaper. Miele will reintroduce an old model for less money, but they'll never make it cheaper. So here, and we all are familiar with the S7 U1. So why is it the dynamic U1? Why? I just don't. Again, I think somebody nailed the head on the hammer there, the head on the nail. That Miele's marketing department's smoking weed. They are when they dynamic U1. What the fuck does that even mean? Anyways, home care, and then they call this should be its own model. This Plus confuses staff and it confuses customers. They also the CX1 doesn't. They already have a C1. It should just be X. They should go with the X1. X1 would sound good. Sebo's not really making the X1 anymore. They should call it the X1. Just like the Brilliance. Well, there's a Brilliant Recar model that's an upright. Oh, what's the difference between the pet model and the normal Miele? Well, that is a turbo tool and a charcoal filter. So this will have a additional STB 101 turbo tool, and it will have a charcoal filter. So you're actually getting less filtration than you are when you buy this machine. And the turbo tool retails for $79. So the extra money is the word cat and dog. And you can see that across the board. We can go to Bissell's website. We can go to Hoover's website. We can go to Dyson's website, who really started that. And when you have the word cat and dog, it is more expensive. The Brilliance and Radiances are beasts. And if you're not familiar with Becco 1984, we'll pull up his YouTube page. I'm not in copyright violation if I pull up my video being hosted on somebody else's YouTube page, right? Right. Becco 1987. Oh, so if you're not familiar, these videos I got asked to remove these videos by Simplicity Recar, the Tacony Corporation, because they got a little butt hurt about me explaining that they needed some improvements. And if so, oh, there I am. But anyways, if you're not subscribed to Becco 1987, definitely go subscribe to him. Awesome, awesome YouTube channel. Great vacuum stuff. And he's pretty amusing to watch too. So definitely go subscribe to him if you're not. So going back real quick here. I don't want to pull up Roger's video on the CX1 because then I will get a copyright hit, and he's got his own thing going on with that, so we're not going to do that. Yes. Vacuum Master the Great, I'm not familiar with, I think. I have to take a look. Again, I don't want to just start pulling up other people's YouTube pages on mine because I don't want to get hit with a copyright claim. I know I'm being a pussy about that, but I don't want to just pull up something I don't have the rights to. You can go do that. So afterwards, I'll go check that out. We're going to wrap things up here in a few minutes, but I just wanted to see. The best cordless vac. That is a good question. I'm going to say the best one right now on the market is probably the Henry cordless, to my knowledge. And then I would probably put... actually, no, I would put that second. I'd put the Pro Team have a cordless machine. And then I would put under the Henry, Hoover has a cordless machine. Hoover has several cordless, both a backpack and a full-size upright with tools that is significantly more powerful than the R10CV that was just mentioned. Now, I would put the R10CV made by Tacony, even after all the social justice warrior bullshit with Tacony, I would definitely put it on my top 10 cordless machines. Definitely would. Especially now that they're on their revision 2 and they've fixed a bunch of problems they had. So we'll definitely put that on the list. But I would definitely say Hoover. Hoover, both commercial and Hoover Home are just, they're knocking it out of the water, and that's because Hoover owns a battery company. They own Rayvac Battery. So if we go to Hoover, and Hoover makes several different cordless things. Yes, they make a hush tone cordless. So if we go to Hoover, so let's just talk about these for a second. So I had the pleasure of unclogging one of these for a warranty customer the other day. This thing smokes the Dyson. I mean, this might be what I'll buy, actually. This thing just fucking smokes the Dyson all day long. And it had a stupid amount of runtime. I ran it for 15 minutes on half battery. So I was really, really impressed with that. So, like I said, I will smoke the Dyson. I think the power was about the same as the Roam or the No-Go. But again, there are no reports of these things catching fire, so that's really a good thing. Some of you know that I am been doing a long-term test on a second-generation Hoover cordless Hoover Air. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Images. Let's see. I have one of these that I've been doing a test on, and I actually think it's all right. And the reason I'm testing this machine is because they're widely discounted and widely available, and because I knew Hoover was replacing them. I knew a lot of these were going to get on the market, so I wanted to test it. So that's on long-term testing, and so far my conclusion is, as long as you empty the bin, charge the battery, don't use it on high-pile carpet, it's okay. Cat litter pickups are right. That's kind of like always my test with things. So Your Bissell Power Force smokes my DC-25. It's possible. Oh, so here's the Hoover. I'm going to go here in just a second because my wife's getting home. Hoover. Go to Hoover commercial. I want to show you the Hoover hush tone I was talking about. Oh, wow. That is a great deal. You guys should buy that. If you want a commercial bag vacuum, you should just buy that. So let's talk about Hoover commercial real quick. So there's this is going to smoke anything Tacony has. This is going to smoke just about anything anybody has commercial cordless. This is a great vacuum. And anytime, I think Tacony really proved this point, anytime you convert a corded design to cordless, that worked. I think that's probably the way to go. So again, they own a battery company, so they're miles ahead. It was maybe 5 years ago when they said they were going after this and making these, and now they're here. So we all are familiar with the Lynx, but this hush tone backpack thing, this is hardcore. All right, everybody. Sorry, my wife came in the room. Getting in the food chain again. Hoover Commercial's been in the food chain. Hoover Commercial maybe is probably one of the better kept secrets of the vacuum industry right now. So let's see what the price of this is if they have it even. I mean, it's HEPA certified. I mean, this is if build quality is what the other hush tones are. This is maybe you can't buy it yet. Man, I'd love to buy one of those. Well, yes, Tacony does make into commercial R10, but these are bypass machines, so these are going to be. And again, this is not to pick on Tacony too much, but they are a small company. Hoover TTI is a huge conglomerate. They're gonna do stuff better. They're gonna be able to do more. They've got more research, more money. I don't see prices on any of this stuff. But that's what Google's for. So again, it's not cheap, but it's good. It's not cheap, but it's nice, and I would buy it in a second, and I wouldn't think twice about it because Hoover's really, since TTI bought them, they've really turned that company around. They're doing really, really well. I haven't heard back from them. I actually reached out to their marketing department not too long ago, maybe a month ago. So they're probably not going to get back to me about trying to get some sort of content from them to review. So real quick, let's talk about Team. Let's talk about Pro Team real quick because they're obviously a player as well. And Pro Teams are available everywhere, so that's kind of the thing. There's no. I'll take the DCO versus 07. Well, yes, the DC07 did have that one motor that was quite strong. Not seeing there. They have a cordless deal here. Vacuums. Cordless. So again, here it is. Here's the price, and that's why I said it's probably it's the best one. By far. So here's why Miele doesn't enter the commercial market. Because there's no money really to be made in the commercial market. You have to sell things pretty much at cost, or you're making 10 or 20%. Which is just not enough for the Germans. They like making healthier margins. The other reason is that Miele machines have a 6-month commercial warranty. So if you buy any of these, anything I just talked about here, you have 6 months commercial warranty on it. So they are commercial rated in that fact. Though I do not recommend using any of these commercially except maybe a straight suction Miele. I would not recommend any of these commercially, again, just because, yeah. Your DC, ooh. Linhouse makes cordless vacuum. That is interesting. We want to. I have to see that. I love the House of Lind. I don't know why that didn't come up. Everybody saw the Jew joke that came up there, right? That Google suggested. That was very nice. EcoForce. I don't think they have a. Oh, you know what? They have this thing. This big thing right here is that is cordless. You can get this thing cordless. This big machine right here. This guy. You can't get any of the other things cordless. Actually, the fact that Linhouse still makes this. Talk about a vacuum I love. I love this vacuum. I know the guys probably were not expecting that, but I do love this vacuum. All right, so that about wraps up our live stream. You guys should come to the UK. DC07s are everywhere. DC07s are everywhere in the US. Every trash can, that is. Yeah, they really are around. The DC14s are still around. I'd rather have a DC14 than an 07, even though you can get the 07 with a bigger motor. The 14 is just more efficient. Makes a lot more sense. So here's one on an old Miele display. I thought this picture on Instagram was just strange because these displays are long gone and that they still have it in the store because it is a great display, especially with this drawer to put miscellaneous shit in. So there is, oh, this is their new Miele Turbo Tool. I forgot to tell you about that. So basically it has a clean out window. Ken Moore did this a few years ago. It's nothing special. And as we know, at the altitude, because I'm a mile high above sea level, they don't really work. So anyway. Oh, you still see air muscles. I won't even check an air muscle in for service because a DC20 is just so fucked. They are just always so fucked. I can't even begin to describe. Well, anyways, I want to thank everybody for your subscriptions. I am going to do a vacuum giveaway. I have a Kirby I want to give away, a Bojack 1960s Kirby, but I have not figured out if I want to do that for 1,500 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers. But I am going to do some sort of giveaway because I like giving back to my subscribers. If you guys are, again, not subscribed to the Performance Review Instagram, please go subscribe. I will follow you back. If it's your vacuum related, I will follow you back. Unless you have 2 posts of your doing selfies that are awkward. So anyways, definitely go do performance reviews. If you haven't, this is a hysterical video I did with this and some friends. It's not one of my more serious videos. Go take a look at that as well. If you don't follow us on Faceballs, we have a Facebook as well. So that's going on. So again, thank you guys all for tuning in. You guys are wonderful. You guys are really what makes the channel. Really, my rotating desktop there. Let's see here. And I don't know if this is going to save because, again, I've never done this format with this kind of broadcast. So, again, thank you guys. Have a good night. And right now I'm trying to post Wednesday and either Saturday or Sunday just to let you guys know. Thank you.